Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're enjoying your day.
This is Astern, ladies and gentlemen.
Just a lovely, lovely horse. He certainly wowed everyone last year. He's been over to America, covered a full book over there, and he's back again looking a picture of health. He trialled brilliantly in the early spring, and then he beat Start Turn, Impending, and Divine Prophet, all three of them top-class horses in the Group 2 run to the Rose. Then he showed his amazing turn of foot in the first Group 1 of the season for 3-year-olds. A race we have seen plenty of success in, but I don't know that we've seen a more dominant winner than this. He's superbly bred too, a son of Medaglia d'Oro, shuttle stallion who stood here and saw the Golden Slipper winner and then saw this horse. And as you can see in front of you, one of the great things about the Medaglia d'Oros was their temperament. Just very cool, calm, easy to train, easy to get on with.
Here he is though, Exosphere. Fair bit of his old man about him too. A little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger. This is the horse that is everyone talking though, Steve. This is the horse that has impressed all the good judges. He was certainly the go-to horse in his first season at stud. He covered a big book, and those the progeny of that are there now yearlings, and consistently we're getting huge reps on them. He's very colonial in his heritage, isn't he? He's by Lonhro, out of a Dan Zero mare, out of Moscow mare. It's a very strong colonial bloodline. And Lonhro has, in the last 12 months, really announced himself as the sire of sires.
I got home to New Zealand last year after last year's parade, and all I want to talk about was the next horse. And you'll see why when he walks into the ring. Just watch him walk. Just take a bit of time to watch this horse walk. Kermadec, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see I've seen a better walker. Dual Group 1 winner, we're going to talk about his race performance. Just look at the way he moves.
He raced in the same stable and the same era as the mighty Winx. No, it's a long time since she's been beaten, but he was rated second in the country, the second best Group 1 performer behind Winx in his 4-year-old career.
He raced on 17 occasions, 15 of them at group level, 10 of them at Group 1 level. They put him in the best company because he's a good horse. Ribchester, ladies and gentlemen.
They say you can tell a man by the company he keeps. Well, this man had 16 starts, 15 of them were at group level, 11 at Group 1 level. He kept very good company, and he stood out in that crowd. He had 4 Group 1 wins and 2 champion titles. He was the fastest winner over a mile at Royal Ascot ever. He set a track record. They've been racing there for hundreds of years. He was a pretty special horse.
Outstanding. He was a champion miler as a 3-year-old and clearly stamped himself as a 4-year-old. Many of you would have seen him last year. We referred to territories. He's done a treat in 12 months.
Well, last year he was a 4-year-old colt. Now he's a 5-year-old stallion. He's a magnificent looking horse. Just feast your eyes on this.
He's by Invincible Spirit. It's a sire line that is just working so well down here. Well, working everywhere.
It is. Invincible Spirit is the preeminent emerging sire of sires. He's the breeding force to come in the world. He's the sire, of course, of I'm Invincible. One of the hottest stallions, one of the most successful stallions, young stallions in Australia. He's also a sire of Kingman in the Northern Hemisphere. He's extremely highly sought after as a sire of sires.
And this horse here, Territories, one of the highest rated sons of Invincible Spirit to come to stud in Australia.
He's got the race form to go with his good looks. He was a very good 2-year-old in France. He was placed second as a 3-year-old. He went to England, ran second in the English 2000 Guineas, so he could mix it with the very best both in France and in England. This is Albrecht, a young son of leading sire of sires, Redout's Choice, from a sister to champion sire Lonhro. Their pedigrees don't come much better than this, Steve.
He's a horse that offers real value to breeders, an opportunity of getting the Darley influence over their mares at a very realistic price. You look at his own performance on the racetrack, Alistair, and you would suggest that this horse's progeny are only going to get better with time, therefore into their 3 and 4 year old years. So that is Albrecht, the son of Redute's Choice. His oldest progeny is mentioned just 3, and we can expect high things coming through in this season and into next.
Another of our rising stars is Dawn Approach. Just look at the strength of this horse. Gets me in every time.
He gets the breeders too, and he's adding the trainers as well, ladies and gentlemen.
One of the best racehorses ever to visit Australia, I'd say. Won the first 2-year-old race of the year in Ireland, so he's very precocious. Went right through that season, went to Ascot, won the Coventry Stakes, ended up winning the National Stakes in Ireland and the Dewhurst Stakes, Europe's champion 2-year-old race. Came back as a 3-year-old, as you said, won the 2,000 guineas first up. He was a racehorse of the very, very highest class.
I think they're going to get better at 3 and 4.
They're going to get better as they get older. I think his progeny in Europe is demonstrating that already. This is Denman, ladies and gentlemen. One of Australia's premier winner-getters. Gee, he gets a lot of winners.
I think he's the best value. You talk about value, I reckon he is outstanding value now. Good-looking horse. He's the son of Lonhro. He possesses a lot of the traits of Lonhro in terms of the physicality and the look of him.
They always make money, Steve, don't they? They've always been good sorts. They've always sold well.
So he's got the strike rate. He did it on the track. He's now doing it with his progeny.
So this is Epaulette. Won the Black Opal. Top class 2-year-old, but an even better 3-year-old. He's a dual Group 1 winning 3-year-old. He's a Golden Rose winner and a Doomben 10,000 winner. And he didn't just race against anyone. Ran second to Black Caviar in the TJ Smith.
It's now as a sire that he's making his mark. As mentioned, he has the champion, the Equus champion 2-year-old colt in South Africa, and Socrat. He's got progeny here doing the same.
He has no Australian first season sire from the Danehill line has ever sired more group winners. Exceed and Excel, champion sire of Australia, one of the great 2-year-old sires of the world.
He is the go-to stallion. We have seen that with so many top-class race mares off the track. Their stallion of choice is Exceed and Excel. Fillies, colts, doesn't matter, they just get out and run and perform. You'd love to have 3 or 4 of them in the stallion barn.
He certainly would.
And he's still successful at the sales. While he's had a number of crops, ladies and gentlemen, they're still selling. There's plenty of competition for them and selling up to 800,000. So that is Exceed and Excel, the son of Danehill, one of the star stallions of Australasia. The next is the son of Street Sense to come forward in Hallowed Crown, and he was unbeaten at 2. He
started with the Runted Rose, and then he won the Golden Rose in thoroughly impressive fashion, actually. Sat wide, it was a great win.
It was his performance in the autumn of his 3-year-old rear where he really stamped himself, didn't he, in the Randwick Guineas. His yearlings have gone through this year, been well received, selling up to 240,000 as colts.
A Guineas winner in the autumn of his 3-year-old career from this horse's family. He's a horse that just gets horses that get better and better with age, and I think you could expect Hallowed Crown to do the same.
Looks outstanding, doesn't he, Lonhro? And he's making his mark now, not only as a sire of sires that we've seen here at Darley, but as a broodmare sire too.
Yeah, he's evergreen with his progeny on the racetrack. Had one of his best ever years last year with superstar Kementari and Impending. He's really stamping himself as a sire of sires now with Denman, Piero, Demerit, as I said, in WA. And of course, we're looking forward to Exosphere and Impending, the next generation.
Next out is the son of Northern Meteor, Shooting to Win. And what an impact he made when he first graced this parade ring.
He's as good a looking horse as you see, isn't he? Gee, he's got some strength and power behind him. Look at his forearm.
He was an unbeaten 2-year-old, 2 starts, 2 wins, but it was as a 3-year-old where he really made his mark.
It certainly did. He won the stallion-making Caulfield Guineas, one of the races that everyone wants to win. And the good judges are spruiking him. Everyone we talk to that's got one in training, they love what they're doing. They're quick, they're smart, and I think we're going to see exciting things.
Brazen Beau by I'm Invincible out of Sansa D. He was tough, fast, brilliant. What a horse. Powerfully built, wonderful top and hip, presence and quality. He is outstanding in every way.
Yearlings by Brazen Beau sold to 700,000. They averaged over 150,000. And as a result, he was the leading first season sire of yearlings by average, ahead of Dissident, Deepfield, Charm Spirit and Shooting to Win.
At the Easter yearling sale, his yearlings averaged more than 350,000. It would be a long time, if ever, that a Victorian stallion topped the first season averages at Easter. All the data performance measurements for Foster continually refer to him as fastest horse in America since 2007, fastest miler since records began in 1970. For me, that simply means he had speed, and speed wins races. Speed and being fast is what the Australian market is all about. He won a Group 1 mile by 14 lengths in freakish time. He was special, a champion. The dirt thing for me is nonsense. Group 1 champions are exactly that. In recent times, without the US stallion, we wouldn't have the likes of Winks, Shocking, Who Be Gotcha, Sebring, More Joyous, Astern, Vancouver, the quarterback, Typhoon Tracy and so on.
I talk regularly to our US nominations manager Darren Fox, and I asked him recently to sum up his thoughts on the frosted foals in the US, and he said, "They are frequently the best foals on their respective farms, and he is the buzz horse with first crop foals heading to Keeneland in November. They are leggy, correct foals with sharp attractive heads, powerful shoulders and massive hips."
Holler, by commands out of shouts. He was on speed, he made his own luck. That seems to be the profile that works for Aussie sprinting Australian prospects.
And what else works? 3-year-old sprinters that can beat the older horses at Group 1 level. Holler did it, so did Snitzel, Fastnet Rock, Redout's Choice, Exceed and Excel, Costa del Lago and Flying Spur. All champion stallions.
In short, we have a Group 1 winning, weight for age class, Aussie bred speed horse for 10,000 plus GST. It's extraordinary value, and I doubt any other stud would have a better value stallion on their roster. Impending, by Lonhro out of Nemesis. When you own a broodmare like Nemesis and you send her to a stallion like Lonhro, this is exactly the result you dream of. A multiple Group 1 winner of over 2.4 million in prize money, and a young colt heading to stud with all the credentials. Physically outstanding. Classy, mid-size, athletic, handsome, possessing wonderful strength, that power behind the saddle, and most notable, that exquisite rhythm and movement. And what about his pedigree? He's by Lonhro, out of a dual Group 1 winning daughter of Costa del Lago, out of a stakes winning Canny Lad mare. Impending, the ultimate pedigree, a dual Group 1 winner, a sprinter, an outcross, good looking, athletic, and a wonderful mover.
And to give you an idea of what we think of him, the dams of Piero, Exosphere and Gazzoni are all booked to him.
Kuroshio, by Exceed and Excel, out of Arctic Drift.
Very early, very precocious, very fast. He epitomises Exceed and Excel, blistering speed.
He was a brilliant 2-year-old, but his defining moment came at 3 in the Group 2 McEwen Stakes at weight for age over 1,000 metres at Moonee Valley, where he outclassed a field of Group 1 sprinters. And the best sprinters win the McEwen Stakes: Chautauqua, Haylist, Buffering, Russian Revolution, Miss Andretti, Testarossa. He has side 5 winners to date in Australia and 5 in Europe, including a Group 2 performer. That's a pretty handy start. Reset, a wonderfully credentialed horse that, funnily enough, keeps on throwing up proper racehorses. His progeny have won races like the Caulfield Cup, the Cox Plate, the Victoria Derby, Victoria Oaks, the Epsom, the Turnbull, the Caulfield Stakes, the Mackay Diva and so on. He's a stallion that gets you to the races on the big days.
And he's a wonderful versatile stallion and has side stakes winners from 1,100 metres to 2,800 metres. In fact, he's side 33 stakes winners from 2-year-olds all the way through to 8-year-olds. Sepoy, what a horse. 4-time Group 1 winner, Australian champion 2 and 3-year-old, world champion 3-year-old sprinter. He's the best horse Sheikh Mohammed has owned in Australia. From February to November in 1 year, he won the Blue Diamond, the Slipper, the Manikato and the Coolmore.
By moving this horse to Victoria, we've essentially reset the expectation. He now stands at 11,000 including GST, and the Victorian breeder has recognised that is amazing value for a quality horse that can get you a yearling, get a 2-year-old, and most importantly, get a Group 1 star. Street Boss. Interestingly, this is now the 3rd year Street Boss has stood at his higher fee in that $25,000 to $30,000 bracket. His mare quality has gone through the roof. In his current yearling crop, includes siblings to high-class performers Kementari, Delactation, Rapid Dragon, Detours, as well as sons and daughters of stakes winners Girl Guide, Applegate, Avienus, Catachuchu, Chinchilla, Chloe in Paris, Calgrinda and Montsegur.
Thanks to everyone for your attention. I hope you enjoyed our parade. I hope you enjoyed our stallions. Thank you very much.